He didn't give them a minute to leave their seat.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe he wanted to make a bold statement, like the groom side, you could just see me walking her down the aisle. Watch this.
Wow.
Watch this.
Yeah, that's a little...
Remember when he, like, now he's all happy to walk his sister down the aisle for Lester, but he called him a penniless fool.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, yeah. Hello, hello.
Welcome
To another episode of A Fine Podcast.
with your host.
Joseph and Amanda.
Welcome back, everybody.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Was I supposed to be an audience member or myself?
It's for for everyone. For you, for our listeners.
Yes.
Yeah. We're getting everyone involved here.
Getting everybody.
Yeah.
Is everybody doing well?
Yes. Let us know. Hope everything is going well.
How's the weather by you?
Yes. Is it getting hotter? Is it getting colder?
Is it rainy?
Is it sunny?
Is it storming over there?
Is it snowing?
It's snowing.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yes. You never know where we are in the world.
Happy May to everybody.
Yes. It's April showers bring May flowers.
Is anyone seeing any beautiful Mayflowers?
I haven't yet.
The Mayflower.
Yes. I've seen trees blooming, but not flowers.
Trees.
Trees are not related to our episode at all, so.
Or flowers.
Yeah.
Actually, flowers are related because we are talking about a wedding.
That is actually, yes. Yeah, that is a good point. Yes, the wedding.
I see trees of what is the lyric to that?
Of green.
Oh,
Red
yeah.
roses, too.
That's right.
Yeah, I see them bloom for me and
Do
you.
it in the voice.
No.
Please, please, please.
No.
Just try one lyric in the voice.
No. All right.
Just one word is what you did. I see
Yeah.
trees of green,
All right.
red roses too. Go ahead.
I see brings of green grasses too. For me and you. All right.
Kermit voice.
Yes.
We're excited today to talk about The Nanny, Season 1, Episode 17.
Stop the wedding. I want to get off.
That's right. And in this episode, Fran discovers that Maxwell's sister, she's secretly in love with her chauffeur, even though she's engaged to a duke.
Yes. A white collar versus blue collar.
Yes.
Love is in the air somewhere.
From a duke to a driver.
And we will discover it all here.
So this episode's interesting because it's the first time we get to meet one of Maxwell's family members. We met his old nanny. That was pretty close, but now we get to meet a sister.
Yes, Miss Jocelyn herself.
That's right.
We are discovering slowly more of Maxwell's family.
Which is nice to see.
Yeah, we're getting more roundedness of him and what he's all about and where the siblings come into play. So it's nice.
Yeah, so in this first scene, we have Cece here, and she hears Maxwell talking on the phone saying, I love you to somebody. And she asks Niles, who is he talking to? And Niles says, what is it worth to you? And Max quickly chimes in and says, it's my sister from London. And Cece said, I didn't know Max had a sister. And Niles said, well, now we know what you're worth to him.
Yes, the first burn.
By Niles.
Yes, within the first 5 minutes.
What'd you think of this burn?
I mean, it is pretty. This one, well, it's deep.
It is. It's quick-witted.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is. I would think it's a pretty big slap in the face for Cece to not even know that he has a sister or
After
any
all
other
those
siblings. Yeah, if they've been working together for so long. She is just discovering that now. So
That's pretty weird.
yeah, I mean, I would feel pretty bad for her, and I don't know, maybe Max secretly doesn't really hold her up in any regard. She's just literally a business partner, and that's it.
That's it.
Doesn't need to know anything outside of business. No personal life, no nothing.
I would think if I was working with somebody for that long, they would be like a close personal friend and they would know a lot about me too. So
Yeah.
but he's keeping his distance.
Yeah, he's clearly. So this is like a cut deep for.
And if that wasn't bad enough, then Fran comes in And she says, "Oh, it's his sister. Tell her hi for me." And already she knows who the sister is, and she already has a relationship with her, and she talks with her. So like a super burn for Cece is when Fran comes in and she knows about her.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt pretty bad for Cece here. This was like a heart wrencher for her.
And let's dig in even further because Cece says, "How come Fran knows about her?" And then Niles says, "He talks in his sleep."
Yeah, this was really a quick-witted response by Niles, but to really put salt in that wound. So that
I'm always feeling bad for Cece lately. I understand more of why she acts the way she does.
yeah, I mean it's almost like reminiscent of her friends. It's like the same style that she grew up with. I mean, having to almost sleep with one eye open with regards to their relationship.
Yeah.
Of like the friends there, and then Niles is not making it any better. But
No, he's definitely not making it any better.
yeah,
So Max says his sister Jocelyn is coming into town to visit, and she's bringing a man. Niles and Max are shocked by this. She has never brought anybody home to meet the family before.
yeah, we see the first time where I guess I don't know if they're trying to play that she just dates around, or if she just doesn't really
Get
date
serious.
to begin with, or what here. So, but regardless, it is a big statement for her to finally look like to settle down with someone. So
That's right. So in this next scene, we see Fran, and she's wearing a newspaper outfit. Did you see this outfit?
yes, yeah.
Has like newspaper print and wording all over it.
Yeah.
Very unique in
It-
style.
Yeah, I mean, another timeless piece that she's worn that's been pretty iconic. So, yeah, these outfits really were something.
They make a statement.
Yeah,
They're different.
yeah, they're very cool. I just thought she is wearing history while making history.
Whoa. I wonder what article she's wearing. Yeah, it has to be like a certain article that
Yeah,
was
I
from
didn't
the
read
past. So
articles.
you
but
didn't read the
yeah.
article on
No.
Fran.
No, I didn't get that level. Anyway,
We should have zoomed in to see what the text said.
yeah, that would have been good.
Jocelyn, she shows up at the front door first, and she and Max greet each other with their childhood nicknames, Mopsy and Puddle Ducks.
Yeah, I don't know where these came from. Maybe this is a British thing, but these are quite out there.
Unique.
Yeah, Mopsy and Puddle Duck.
Mopsy. Puddle Ducks.
Yeah, that's I don't know if this. I mean, are those terms of endearment? I guess so, but
They sound sweet.
Puddle Ducks.
Mop.
Yeah, start calling you Puddle Ducks.
And one's a mop, one wipes up the puddle.
Yeah, and the duck,
Oh.
the duck in the puddle.
The duck in the puddle.
It would have been funny if it was Duck Puddle and Puddle Duck.
Duck puddle.
Yeah. Hey, Puddle Duck. Hey, Duck Puddle.
We should call each other that.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. Sounds very endearing.
With your host
Puddle Duck.
and
Duck Puddle.
a fine podcast. So the next person that comes through the door is Nigel.
Waters of Earl of Dukeberry.
Duke what? So
Duke
the
of
next,
Salisbury.
yes. So the Earl of Dukeberry. Dewberry.
Blueberry.
Blueberry. There was this contestant on what show was it?
We're not
What show was it? We're obsessed with Gordon
It was a
Ramsay
show.
shows.
Okay, no.
Come on.
We can't say what it is. We can't
Why?
advertise.
It was one of Gordon Ramsay's
It's just a
shows,
show.
and he was a
Not
contestant.
even Gordon Ramsay.
Okay, and he was contestant on this show, and Gordon Ramsay called him up to the front, and he goes, "Dewberry? You mean?" Or did he call him
No,
Blueberry?
he said Blueberry.
Or-
He said, "What's your name?" He said, "Whatever, Dewberry." He said, "Blueberry?" He said, "No, Dewberry."
We thought that was so funny.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's more that he assumed a blueberry would be a name or something
versus
else.
dewberry. Dewberry. Blueberry. No, dewberry.
Yeah.
So this man that comes in, his name is Nigel Waters, and he's the Duke of Salisbury.
Yes. Salisbury.
Salisbury?
Salisbury.
Oh.
I mean, it was basically what you said. I was just
Salisbury.
we're focusing on the Bury.
Dewberry.
Yeah.
It's the Duke of Dewberry. I think that sounds better.
Yeah.
So he's in. He's the Duke. He's together with Jocelyn. But behind him comes in the driver, the chauffeur, Lester.
Yes. Who's been Jocelyn's chauffeur for, I think, 20 plus years now is what
Yes,
they said. So.
a long time. Right by
Yeah.
Jocelyn's side. Dedicated to her.
I mean, I guess we don't know how old they are, but I mean,
Let's say she's like close to like,
I guess they're 30s or 40s.
yeah,
Maybe 40s. So I guess early
maybe
20s.
like 20s, yeah.
Yeah.
So the first thing that happens is Jocelyn hears Fran laugh, and then she says to Maxwell, her laugh doesn't sound anything like you've described her in the letters you wrote me, which gives Fran notice that Maxwell is talking about her to his family.
Yes. So that puts Fran in a nice position, and we're finding out maybe more that Max describes Fran in more than just a employee level.
Writing about her laughs in letters. So now we kind of know that Fran means something to Max, and Fran then says to Max, "Oh, you write about me?" And Max quickly changes the subject back to Jocelyn and starts talking about the Duke and Jocelyn and their relationship, and just asks them, "Oh, like, nice to meet you, Duke, and was it love at first sight?" And then Duke says, "Yes, the moment I laid eyes on her, I thought, my God, she's suitable." And then Jocelyn's comment is, "Why, thank you. And the moment I saw him, I thought, he seems nice." And then shortly after this, they announced they're getting engaged. So what did you think about the way that they described each other and their relationship they have together?
Yeah, it's weird. They're basically very formal about it. It's not personal or intimate at all. It's just this quite almost like a royal setting of just
They're just
no
doing
emotion
it.
at all.
They're just doing it to go through the motion of doing it.
Well, and too, yeah, that they're engaged and there's no excitement to it. It's just we're engaged and that's it. And,
Yay.
Fran and Max were
Fra.
all expecting we're expecting this, all this cheering and happiness and
Excitement.
whatnot, and then it's just like
Flat.
yeah, it's no different than saying I need to go get some popcorn out of the kitchen. Like it was.
Yep.
That was the impact of the statement. So.
And the relationship has like no matter behind it. It's just like, oh, she's nice. He's nice too. Why don't we get engaged? That might work.
Yeah.
We're on the same social status. Why not?
Yes. Yeah.
The end.
Right.
Which is very sad.
And I guess that's what we'll find. They're trying to challenge the different classes of people here, but maybe that's what I guess originally that's what brought them together was they wanted to find someone in their own status level. So and they were maybe the two nicest people out of their their status level that
Probably
they at least didn't disdain each other for their company, but it wasn't the greatest to be around them. But anyway,
here they are. So in this next scene, everybody's eating dinner, and Niles was challenged with making this English dinner, and he puts together steak and kidney pie, to which Fran says, "My mother stayed clear of the urinary tract when cooking," which I wrote, what? Because we just watched an episode where Sylvia cooked up tongue and she cooked up derma. But okay, yeah, she stays clear of the urinary tract. At least there's that.
yeah, we had the intestines and the tongue, so those weren't.
But no urinary tract.
Right,
That's not as
yes.
gross as that. So
Yeah.
somehow, I did not think that made too much sense.
So we had, they're eating dinner here, and then Nigel made a remark. They were like, "Oh, goodness us, we forgot to get the children presents before making their way here." And then he looks to Brighton and he says, "Would you like some money? I have lots of it. I wouldn't miss it at all."
Which is very crazy.
Yeah. But it's just, they give this whole, he just has no emotion with anything. So it's just like the way he delivered it was really, really funny, because he just looked over to him and he's just like, "I have lots of money. I wouldn't miss it at all.
Really, I
Do you
wouldn't
want
miss
it?
it.
You
Yeah.
want it?" Which Max was like, "No, whoa, we don't need to. We don't need it." But Brian was like, "I think he's talking to me, Dad.
Yeah,
I'll
right.
answer that for him."
Ridiculous.
But yeah, that was. Anyway, that was a good. Don't say anyway, but that was a good remark.
Yeah, everything's like emotionless with him.
Right. Well, yeah, we just see it unfolding more and more and more. But
I really enjoyed his character
yeah.
because it's funny.
Right.
So everybody's talking at the dinner table, and then Cece comes in because she says she's kind of like a member of the family too, announcing herself to Maxwell's sister in that way. And Niall says, "Yes, we keep putting her out at night, and she keeps finding her way back," as his next burn.
Yes, another burn.
She's more like the dog of the family.
Right. Yes. Yeah. She.
Or the cat, the pet.
Yeah, I would say more like the dog. Cats, Well, I guess there's indoor and outdoor cats. I guess I would think of most people with cats. It's like they're either indoor or outdoor. Which Cece, she floats around. She's indoors sometimes, outdoors the others.
She doesn't live there, so she has to be outside to get in.
That's true. Well, yeah, so I don't know.
So they're talking more about the wedding here. And then Fran convinces Jocelyn and the Duke to have their wedding right there in the Sheffield household. And that weekend, too, because she was a bridal consultant after all, as we know from the first episode.
Yes.
And then the Duke and Jocelyn both agree, yep, sounds nice. We'll just get married on Sunday, and we'll have Fran plan the whole thing. Great. Emotionless.
Yes. And so I also wanted to point out, like, at the end of the dinner scene here, you see, Cece, they have like has a huge glass of wine. Like, I looked at their glass
really?
and it is like filled to the brim almost.
Is it white or red?
It's red, but then I also was thinking, it made me think there's a lot of scenes where they have like Cece constantly getting drinks,
Drinking.
yeah, where she's like asking Niles to pour
Hard
something,
liquor,
or
wine, punch
yeah,
bowl.
it's just like a lot
the ladle
recently,
dance.
a lot of
Yeah.
things. She's got some kind of alcohol in her hand. But anyway,
She's always getting picked on. Too.
Yeah, I mean, she needs it with all that bullying.
Yeah.
So.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Poor Cece. So in this next scene, we learn that Grace is going to be a flower girl. And she says it's too much pressure. And after this, we see one of our favorite guest stars are back.
Yes, Mr. Fabric Softener himself.
Fabric softener. From
Kenny.
our last episode. Woo, yeah.
Yes. Kenny is back, holding laundry.
But this time, he's helping to put together the wedding. So does he just run and help the Fine family with different things?
Well, I would think, actually, thinking back, Maggie and him met last episode. And then now that he has an interest for Maggie, now he's probably like, "Hey, yeah, let me help. I'd love to help, just to get around or have an excuse to
That's true.
be with her." Because they actually talk to Fran and him, have a discussion while they're getting ready, where, "Oh, well, Maggie wouldn't like a guy like me. I'm a poor boy or whatever, and she's this high class rich girl." So,
Which I thought this was a good tie-in because they tied this in to relate to the Jocelyn, Duke, and Lester problem that's going on. So you see two instances of class differences of people that like each other and they're worried about what the other person will think in their opposite class to move forward.
yeah, right, yeah, you have two different couples in the same situation. So yeah, that was
Good parallel.
right. Yes, it happens either at a young age or an older age.
Exactly. So Fran shows Jocelyn a wedding dress that she picked out for her. And she thinks it screams, "I'm getting married" a little too much, which is actually a negative thing in her eyes. So that's not a good sign.
Yeah, well, it's like very ironic to let's get married, but no, let's not have a dress that
Screams,
says
I'm getting married.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't want it to say that too much.
Yeah, it's more like I just wanted to have it like show that I'm having a formal business arrangement or
Yeah,
something.
right. She should have gotten her like a suit.
Yeah.
So then Fran goes, "Oh, okay. So let's go over your favorite songs. What are your favorite songs to play at the wedding?" And Jocelyn goes, "I don't know. We don't really have any couple songs or favorite songs. What are your favorite songs? Why don't you just incorporate those, Fran?" So it's not looking too good.
Yeah, Fran kind of starts asking her different things that they like together, and they don't really have much, which Fran starts kind of quickly realizing this marriage is quite superficial and
It's a sham.
not a lot of depth to it, so it'll come falling down quite easily.
So Jocelyn says, you handle all the details, Fran. I'm fine not being involved in it. And then she calls for Lester to take her on a car ride to the park. And he comes in 2 seconds as soon as she calls him. She goes, "Lester?" And then he comes in. And then Fran goes, "Hey, Lester, do you know any of Jocelyn's favorites here to help me with like the songs and everything?" And then then Lester quickly lists off all the answers. He knows everything there is to know about Jocelyn.
Yeah, so then this is when Fran realizes he has a secret love for her, yes. After this time, so Fran starts plotting up a way to make this happen.
Of course she has to get involved.
Yeah.
So
let's save her before the doomsday.
We'll see that shortly.
We will.
So now Fran goes and finds Niles, and she's telling Niles all about this situation now. And she says Jocelyn does not seem into the wedding. And she says it doesn't seem like the Duke and Jocelyn are in love. And she says when a woman is in love with a man, she should feel like she's swept off of her feet. And I'm not getting these feelings here.
And then
Jocelyn comes in with Lester holding her.
Swept off her feet.
Swept off her feet. And she says she took a spill at the park, and Lester insists on carrying her up the stairs. And Fran says, well, now she knows Jocelyn's wedding song. "Baby, you can ride my car."
Yes. Actually, there was a quick thing, too. I noticed right before, actually, Lester and Jocelyn come in. She mentioned to... Niles was mentioning, well, she may not be passionate because British women aren't known for their passion.
So he's defending it.
Right. And that's why, because Fran was like, oh, it doesn't make sense, but he's saying, well, yeah, that's just how they are.
Until he really sees
Yeah.
what the heck's going on.
Yeah. But then, too, and then it was actually, Fran also said, don't start with me, Niles, which was like that big thing, especially from the first episode when she said that.
She said that again?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because, she says that, I think later on in the season, she starts saying that more often.
We should count how many times we hear that.
Yeah. But yeah, she did say that again, and it was like the same.
Don't
same
start
way
with me, Niles.
Yeah, from the first time.
29.
It was nostalgic from the first episode.
I love it.
Yeah.
So Fran knocks on Max's door in the middle of the night, of course. And then he comes out in his PJs, and then she tells him all about this dilemma here. And she says, well, I think Jocelyn should call up this wedding because she's really in love with her chauffeur. And she just doesn't know it yet, though. And Maxwell thinks that Fran is crazy here. And he said, let me get this straight. My sister should not marry the Duke because she's in love with the driver, but she doesn't know it. And Fran goes, that's exactly right. And he says, oh, well, then by all means, let's convince her. Why don't we wake up the whole house? We'll insist that she dump the Duke and all he has to offer and run off with her penniless driver. And then Fran goes, oh, I knew you'd understand. And then Maxwell slams the door in Fran's face.
Yeah. I have to say here, this was quite a shallow statement by Max.
I thought so too. Her penniless driver. Are you kidding me? There's no way. Goodbye.
Yeah. He's got to be rich or he's useless.
Or like he won't even consider this scenario.
Right, yeah.
First, I thought he was just upset because it's such a hypothetical scenario that Maxwell hasn't noticed yet. But then he throws in the penniless driver remark, which makes him seem really shallow and obsessed with money.
Yeah.
So that's not great.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just was like, wow, I was taken aback by it.
It's penniless driver. Penniless driver. So in this next scene, Mr. Fabric Softener's back. He's wearing a baby blue suit, and he says he's going to do stand-up. And Fran says he should invite Maggie to his next stand-up show. And Kenny said, I just can't picture her there. But Fran says just because she's rich doesn't mean she can't fall for you, Kenny. So Max comes down the stairs and he says he's not ruining Jocelyn's wedding because of Fran's silly little hunch here. And Fran is trying to tell Maxwell, okay, I won't interfere. And he doesn't believe her. And she says, don't worry, I won't say a word to Jocelyn. So then she runs to Lester and she asks him, how come you haven't told Jocelyn that you're in love with her? And Lester says, yes, I am in love with her. Is it that obvious? And then he says, we're in 2 different classes, you know, front seat and back seat. And he says he has nothing to offer her. And Fran says he has his undying love to offer her. And he says, if only that were enough, Fran.
Yeah, that's a pretty...
This was a sad, sad scene. I felt really bad for Lester.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the analogy of I'm in the front seat and she's in the back seat.
The differences here.
Yeah, even though it's like a oxymoron almost.
Yes.
Because it's like you'd think the front seat is where you'd want to be.
Right.
And the back seat's like the low level, but
it's switched up.
Yeah, in this regard, the
case.
front seat is the low
Is
level.
low level.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of an interesting
That is
twist on
interesting.
things. Yeah.
So in this next scene, we see the wedding is really put together now. And Cece comes in and says she just loves weddings. And then Niles comes in with a burn and he says, well, we all want what we can't have. Gosh, terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember watching this season the first time around. I was like, "Oh man, this is so great! This is so these comebacks are so funny, or these birds, or anything." But
And then
like,
the next
I don't know.
time
Watching
it's
it now, I'm like, man, I really feel bad for this season.
Yeah, I don't remember feeling that as much.
Yeah, like I was so
first
excited
go
about
around.
that. I loved him, and then I'm like, wow, it's kind of a little.
It's actually kind of sad. Kind of sad.
Yeah.
So Cece says to Maxwell, do you think you'll ever get married again? And Maxwell says, I hope so. I love my children, but it does get a little lonely at times. And then Cece says, poor baby, you know I'm always there for you. And then Niles comes in with his last bird.
Making lazy circles in the sky.
Which is from Oklahoma.
Yes.
The play.
I want to be.
Making lazy circles in the sky. I don't know.
What does that mean?
We don't know. We tried to look this up and we didn't. We came up blank.
Yeah, I mean, I never really fully understood the statement, but
I bet if we watched the play, maybe we would get it.
yeah.
But it's from the play Oklahoma and from that song that actor sang in that previous Nanny episode that we reviewed where he spelled it out and he couldn't spell out Oklahoma.
Oh, Brock Storm.
Yes. O-K-H-O. Well, there's no spelling in Andrew Lloyd Webber's show.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think we're getting ready to summarize all of the Niles and Cece burns.
Yes, I think we have reached them all, so it is time to talk about them in detail.
Is this heaven or is this hell? Maybe sometimes both as well. Naughty nights and sassy CC.
All right, first let's go over the burns from Cece. Okay, we're done. Now we'll go over the burns from Niles. Niles burn number 1.
Well, we all know now what you are worth to him.
That was maybe the saddest burn
Yeah, yeah.
this time.
Yeah, this one and the last one are pretty neck and neck, but
The last one that we don't understand.
oh, I'm sorry. The fourth one. Yeah, making hazy circles in the sky. That one's that's a pretty dark one. Number 2.
He talks in his sleep.
I hear secrets that you keep. When you're talking in your sleep.
To Fran. Bird number 3.
Yes, we keep putting her out at night. She keeps finding her way back in.
The dog of the family, Cece.
The brunt of the litter.
And bird number 4.
Well, we all want what we can have.
Cece can't have a marriage or a wedding.
Yes. Or Max.
That's pretty bad. That's one that cuts deep. You're right. It cuts just as deep as the first one.
Yeah. And then number 5.
Making lazy circles in the sky.
Yeah. Oklahoma.
OKH. What? It might take until like season 2 to hear Cece chime in more.
Yeah.
I don't remember when it starts happening.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember when it'll be well, I guess we already did have the one. Yeah.
We did, yeah, the one remark.
Because we've already seen it.
Yeah.
My brain just doesn't remember it.
My brain.
It locked that memory away and it's been removed. My cells have eradicated those memories.
Eradicated. Your cells have regenerated and formed new memories.
They only remember the Niles burns.
Don't worry, they'll come back to us. They'll come back.
Yes.
So Lester comes in to see Jocelyn, and she's in the big poofy wedding gown that she didn't want to wear. And he says that she looks like an angel. Lester says, I just came in to say goodbye to you, actually. And he says the Duke has his own driver now, so you don't need me. And Jocelyn panics and says she planned on having Lester in the big castle she's going to live in. He was going to have his own room. And she says, you can still stay around. And he says, I really don't think that's a good idea. And then he goes to leave, and she grabs his hand. And he asks if he can kiss her hand, which this whole scene gets out of control. He goes, oh, can I kiss your hand? And she goes, yes. And then he kisses her hand. He kisses her arm. And then Fran walks in and catches him just full on kissing her.
Yes.
And I don't understand. So many people walk in and see them kissing each other, and they are just full out kissing each other, and they don't notice every single time Maxwell's office door swings open, close, open, close, open, close, with all these people looking at him.
I mean, yeah, because it's like after 20 years, this moment has finally happened that you
The
have.
passion.
Yeah,
It's just so strong.
Yeah, you've just blocked out everything else that's happening
That's
around
true.
you.
Maybe that's what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Maybe it's a quiet door. Maybe they've got some good WD-40 on the hinges or something.
WD-40. Well, Niles does clean 24/7, so I'm sure
it keeps the door hinges pretty polished up as well.
A+, Niles. A+.
Yeah.
Greasing those door hinges.
Yeah.
So Max can't find Jocelyn anywhere. He wants to talk to her a little bit before the wedding, and she is in the office kissing Lester, so he doesn't know this. And then he walks in to try to look for her, and he sees them kissing too, and then he shuts the door. And then Max asks Fran, did you talk to Lester?
Yes, because now the whole wedding has been ruined. So Max discovers Fran's doing now and is
disappointed,
quite upset with her that she's destroying this whole thing.
So now Fran tries to delay the wedding a little bit until they can figure out what the heck they're going to do. And so she calls on Kenny, Mr. Fabric Softener. Can you come do some stand-up comedy in front of our wedding guest here to stall, please? So then he says, all right. And he starts by walking to the front, and then he says, so how many people have been bar mitzvahed here? Which I would guess nobody in this crowd.
Yeah. His audience is quite specific.
So the Duke then is the last person to swing open that office door while Lester and Jocelyn are still kissing each other. And he says, can't you see I'm heartbroken? With no emotion.
Yes. What I wanted to say originally was when each person came through, bustling through the door, they were like in the same position every time. Like Jocelyn and
they
Lester
didn't move.
were. Yeah. So it was almost like they were like statues every time they opened the door. Is always
that was kind of weird. So we talked about their passion they had for each other. But if you have passion, wouldn't you be like moving around a little bit more than like just staying in dead locks, standing?
Yeah, it was weird for them to. bust open the door and then they're in the same position every time. It was like,
Just like two statues close together kissing.
Yeah. Should they at least be in different positions every time to at least give the illusion that they've been, kissing or whatever? Not just like a frozen statue. I don't know.
Which is weird because then it's almost seeming like the Lester-Jocelyn relationship is kind of like the Duke relationship where there's not enough emotion involved.
Yeah, it was just that one spark that happened and then that spark hit a piece of water.
Maybe they're just frozen in shock. Like, wow, this is so great. I'm
I
shocked.
was just like, wow, this is not what I was hoping for after 20 years.
Yeah,
of
when they finally
anticipation.
kissed, they're like, oh gosh, what did we do here? We just ruined this for nothing.
Wasn't that?
So Lester then tells the Duke, we're in love, which is bold to tell the groom on his wedding day after you're caught kissing and she's cheating on him with him. So that's crazy. And
the
then
first hymn is Nigel's, the second hymn is
exactly.
Lester.
Thank you for decoding that. I
Yes,
thought
you're
that was
welcome.
confusing. So Duke then says he will bow out gracefully with his head held high, which is kind of a really mature response to this whole thing because he could have just decked Lester in the face for doing this.
Yeah, but all it does is, I think, just prove to the fact that they really had no connection at all. I mean,
Well, that is true.
if you had no connection, then you wouldn't be that bothered.
He was so
it's
mature
happening.
about it because he had no feelings for Jocelyn.
Yeah, right, exactly. But then also, he's like, well, actually, is there a back door I can sneak out of?
Yeah, Fran goes, you want the back door? He goes, yes. And then Fran says, all the best. He goes, ta-ta, and waves his hand, and that's the last you see of him.
Yes. Nigel Waters, Duke of our Salisbury, is no more.
Great character. Great character, though. Very entertaining.
Yeah.
So then, as if this couldn't get any crazier, Lester gets down on one knee, and Jocelyn says, the answer is yes, Lester. And they want to get married right now. So they go out and they're the ones getting married. A change that happens within 5 minutes. The groom
Yeah.
changed.
Yes. I mean, they already had everything prepped for the wedding. They can't let all it go to waste and all the guests there. So
Kenny's really funny, making big hits with the crowd. And then at the end, maybe it's because of this confidence he has in himself after he made big hits talking to this crowd. But then he goes up to Maggie and invites her to Lenny's Crab Bar to hear his comedy performance. So he does
Yeah.
believe in himself.
well, and I think too, this probably because the audience he's used to is probably the kind of same people he's working with, and at the comedy show where now he's in an environment that's all, white class people,
Right.
white collar class people. So now he's actually realizing he makes them laugh. They like his jokes now too. So
He's conquered the harder crowd, or the crowd that's harder to relate to his comedy.
yeah, in his
stylings.
mind, I think. So then now it's, well, maybe she'll actually find my jokes funny, or so. Yeah, it is like a bolster of confidence for him to have this setting and it be successful. So
A blessing in disguise for him.
yes,
So Maggie's very excited, and she's honored to be invited. So she's looking forward to his show.
yeah,
And then Fran comes in and she says, all those on the bride's side, stay seated. And then Max walks in with Jocelyn really quick.
and the groom side can leave. That's what she said too.
Oh, okay. She said that, but they didn't really move because
Right.
Maxwell immediately comes in with Jocelyn.
yeah, right.
I'm like, you couldn't wait for like a couple of minutes because I would really want those people to filter out if I were you.
Yeah, there's no time.
So then Niles is very emotional by this wedding. And then
Yes.
Fran is shocked by this. And he says, it's because I'm part French.
Yeah,
So that was interesting.
yes. He's apparently half very emotional and half no emotional. So
British French. So in this ending scene, we see Max and Fran talking, and they both agree that Lester and Jocelyn, perfect match. They are both very much in love. Maxwell says, in this day and age, to have two people rule out love just because of class, imagine being blind to the fact that you love someone just because they work for you. And then Fran says, oh, I know, it's unbelievable. And he says, well, good night, Miss Fine. She says,
Yeah.
good night, Mr. Sheffield.
yeah, but kind of playing fun on the whole thing because little do they know that, well, not little that they know, but the tension between them is
Dapper Daddy.
staying
Dapper
firm.
Daddy.
Yes. Yeah, but the look here, you know, you kind of have to see the episode here, but the look he gives like Fran right before he says goodnight is like one of quite full of expression, and
He realizes some feelings.
yeah, this kind of opens up a little something in him. So yeah, no, I think this is definitely quite the
Dapper Daddy.
Dapper Daddy's moment. The moment of
Dapper.
debacles.
Dapper daddies dating debacles.
This episode really brought that to light. The tension between two classes.
Yes.
Yes. I like how you brought out your deep voice for that.
Yes.
And after hearing your deep voice, I think we're ready for our recap.
It's time for a recap.
Let's put this all together. These moments are forever.
Jocelyn comes to visit with the Duke
Duke of Dewberry.
and Lester Dewberry.
Chauffeur.
Blueberry or Dewberry? Jocelyn is getting married to the Duke.
How exciting.
She's fine. He's quite a good fellow. They decide to get married that weekend.
It's the perfect excuse. Let's get wed. Let's get married.
Now. Fran gets to plan all the details of the wedding.
My bridal experience of consulting is now coming back.
Kenny is back, and he's helping with the wedding.
Fabric softener.
Hey, guys, you have any fabric softener? Fabric softener? Jocelyn and the chauffeur are in love.
They are. They. Flowers.
Flowers.
Because he asked her favorite flowers. So,
Roses.
yeah. No, not roses.
Tulips.
I don't remember what they were, but
Fran gets Lester to admit his true feelings.
yeah, she brings it out of him.
Like water coming out of a well.
Yes. In a bucket. A pail.
A bucket and a mop. And a pail. Mopsy.
Yeah. A duck puddle. Puddle duck.
Puddle duck. Mopsy. Lester and Jocelyn are now getting married instead. Quick change.
We're just we're swapping here.
Swapping grooms
Yeah.
in the same room with a different groom.
Yes.
Bride side stay. Groom side get up.
Time to leave.
Maxwell, rush in with your sister walking her down the aisle.
Well, that would have already been planned regardless.
But
it had
he
been
rushed.
Nigel or Lester.
He didn't give them a minute to leave their
Yeah,
seat.
that's true.
Maybe he wanted to make a bold statement like the groom side, you could just see me walking her down the aisle. Watch
Yeah,
this.
wow.
Watch this.
Yeah, that's a little.
Remember when he, like, now he's all happy to walk his sister down the aisle for Lester, but he called him a penniless fool in the scene
Yeah, that's
beforehand.
true. Yes, yeah.
So Max and Fran decided that they are happy for Lester and Jocelyn in their relationship.
Yes. Who knew that two coworkers could find love?
Co-workers.
Well, they are coworkers.
Yeah,
well, I guess
I
not.
guess.
I guess more a
Employers.
servant and master, but
Master.
what? Yeah. He's a chauffeur. I mean, he's a servant. She's a master in that regard.
Master.
What?
Sounds terrible.
Okay.
The end.
Yeah. On that note,
On that note,
Toodles.
goodbye. Let's get off the air right now.
Time to end it.
And we're done.
Yes. And then the credits just show some bloopers.
Yep.
That was it.
That was it. Take us out.
Well, thanks so much for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this change up of a wedding, and happy any summer weddings that you may have this May.
Yeah, don't let class affect who you fall in love with.
Blue collar, white collar, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter at all.
Keeping those classes regardless of whoever you are. Just keep them up.
Keep your love strong, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Ciao.